Your cruise hasn't even started yet, and security is already deciding your mood. One helpful item in your carry-on, and suddenly you're at the inspection table doing the awkward explanation tour. I've watched this exact scene happen to people who travel all the time. Cruise lines tightened rules in 2026, and they're enforcing them hard at the terminal. It's not contraband. It's convenience. A power strip, a surge adapter, a travel router or Wi-Fi extender, even a tiny Bluetooth speaker. This video is 12 fast, don't get flagged items, plus what to pack instead so you don't lose your stuff until the last day. Quick bag scan right now, because item number 1 is the responsible one that gets taken the most. 2-second test. If it has a tiny reset button, cruise security treats it like a neon sign. Power strips, multi-plugs, extension cords, surge adapters, same pile. Cruise security isn't judging your gadget, they're protecting the cabin circuit. Reset button, surge switch, extra AC outlets, that reads circuit risk and gets pulled fast. Cabins can have one outlet and it's weirdly far from the bed. Phones, watches, tablets, it adds up fast. And suddenly you're unplugging the lamp just to charge your phone. Pack this instead, a USB-only multi-port charger plus one long cable so your phone reaches the bed. Shopping test. If it has any AC outlets, a switch, or a reset button, skip it. Look for a recognized safety mark. UL, ETL is the easy win. If they take it, keep it simple. No problem. Can you tag it? And where do I pick it up? That's it. Rule. Reset button equals rejected. Extra AC outlets equals gone. Next, that smart little Wi-Fi box gets pulled aside even faster. And most people don't realize why. Guess what it is? Ship Wi-Fi is a closed ecosystem. It's not your home router. It's not a hotel lobby. So when you bring a travel router, it doesn't read as helpful. It reads like you're trying to plug your own system into theirs. And I know what you're thinking. My phone has hotspot. Out at sea, that hotspot usually has nothing to share. And maritime roaming is the bill you never want to screenshot. I'm not kidding. I've come way too close to tears over a roaming charge. The underside gives it away. Wired ports, tiny antennas, or router on the label. Even if it gets through the first bag check, the real drama can hit mid-cruise. You buy Wi-Fi, everyone's happy. Then one person tries to share it, the account auto-locks, and suddenly nobody has internet. Here's the no-drama version. Ship plan, one internet captain, swap only when needed, and skip random USB ports. Same category, louder problem, personal satellite setups. This is new enough that even frequent cruisers miss it. But you'll see some lines call out passenger satellite gear, sometimes even portable units like Starlink Mini, explicitly. Outside that railing, anything clipped on can become flying hardware, and ships don't want DIY gear living on balconies. So don't pack a dish expecting a balcony setup. If you need dependable internet, stick with what the ship officially supports. Pool decks have their own rule though, and it starts the second someone hits play. Pool deck. You hit play, 10 seconds later, staff is walking over. Sir, headphones only. That's the invisible rule. Your soundtrack stays in your ears. Some lines ban personal speakers outright and hold them until the end. Carnival does. And on some private destinations, it's basically headphones only. Royal Caribbean asks guests to use personal headphones at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. It turns into a volume war in minutes, then nobody wins. Crew can't compete with playlists when announcements need to be heard. Swap that saves the day. Pack earbuds, plus a cheap wired backup for when Bluetooth dies. Want the group to share music? Share a playlist link. Everyone listens their own way. And if you think sound is strict, wait until you see what security tags as a signal device. You pack a baby monitor for one reason. You want a little freedom without guessing. Cruises treat this one differently. That monitor can get treated like a transmitter. Some lines list it by name and don't allow it. Others pull it for inspection, and you only get it back if it's approved. This is the part parents don't realize until it's too late. Your balcony monitor plan isn't a plan. With babies and toddlers, assume an adult stays in the cabin. Don't build your day around leaving them unattended. What actually works is tag team. One adult stays with the kid, the other steps out, then you swap. Use the ship app chat or the cabin phone to coordinate with the other adult, not a device trying to broadcast across the ship. If they set it aside, keep it short and cooperative. Ask if it can stay powered off in your cabin or if they need to hold it. And once you notice the signal category, you'll spot it everywhere, like the cheap walkie-talkies people toss in just in case. Security reads them as wireless gear fast. Everyone's had this thought. We'll just use walkie-talkies and skip Wi-Fi. It sounds like a hack, right up until it's sitting in the wireless tray at the checkpoint. Different lines handle it differently. Some allow walkie-talkies with tight specs, usually low power, Royal Caribbean does. Others ban them outright. NCL lists them as prohibited. They sort it fast. Toy lane versus pro lane. It's not the brand, it's the "this isn't a toy" vibe. 3 tells. It claims 10+ mile range. It has a detachable external antenna, or it looks programmable in multiband, VHF and UHF. Blister pack family sets are the least likely to get side-eyed. The moment it looks pro, you end up doing a little back of the radio show and tell at the table. The move that actually works is analog. Pick one meetup routine everyone remembers, same time, same spot, then enjoy the weird bonus. You're not always reachable, and the trip gets better. App chat can help. Cabin phone covers the rest. If they stop you, don't pitch it. Turn it over, show the back sticker, markings, and let them decide. Someone always tries the next upgrade too, and it doesn't beep. It has propellers. At screening, the X-ray hits propellers and batteries. Crew doesn't see content, they see a flying camera. Onboard drones are a hard no. Restricted zones, lifeboats, crowds. One mistake, and it's a safety incident. The quieter reason is privacy. Drones don't just film your vacation. They sweep up other guests' faces, cabin doors, and moments they didn't consent to. That privacy piece is why always-on cameras are getting heat too. At least one major line, MSC, bans smart glasses in public areas. If people can't tell it's recording, it's a problem. Bringing a drone for port days? Say what it is at screening. Then follow the ship's storage style. You'll usually get one of 2 outcomes. Cabin lock, it stays in your cabin, 0 use on board. Port checkout, it's held, and you get it back for port days. Either way, keep it zipped in the case until you're off the ship. Cozy gear is about to betray people next. The thing you pack to stay warm, and it gets pulled constantly. If you run cold, the thought is automatic. I'll bring a little heater thing. It feels totally normal until you remember you're sleeping in a floating building. Cruises treat one category the same way, almost every time. Anything that warms itself up. Electric blankets, heating pads, mini heaters. If the device's job is to make heat, it's going to get flagged. On a ship, heater thing reads as fire risk. Auto shutoff doesn't change the lane, it still reads heat device. If it plugs in to make heat, assume it gets held at the terminal. This is what I do now, and it's boring in the best way. I bring a thin fleece I can actually sleep in, plus warm socks. Then, the minute I get to the room, I ask my cabin attendant for an extra blanket. It takes 10 seconds, you stay warm, and you don't spend the whole cruise wondering where your stuff went. The next one isn't about warmth at all. It's about wheels, lithium, and hallways that suddenly feel way too narrow. Hallway on a ship. Elevator doors open. 2 strollers, a cart, a couple suitcases, and then someone tries to squeeze a rideable e-scooter in sideways. That's when it clicks. At the terminal, they bucket it in 2 seconds. Mobility aid or rideable toy with a lithium pack. If it's recreational, e-scooter, hoverboard, electric skateboard, moped-style stuff, on many major lines it gets stopped at the checkpoint. Ships are compact by design. Those corridors and elevator lobbies aren't extra space, they're emergency paths. Add a big lithium battery and a bulky rideable, and it turns into a problem fast. Everyone says the same thing, only for port days. It doesn't move the needle. They can't gamble on where you'll use it, so they treat the device the same way. Port days? Rent at the port. The expensive part isn't the rental, it's dragging the wrong Rideable to the terminal and watching your plan evaporate. If you actually need mobility support, keep it clean and fast. Register through the cruise line's accessibility process before you sail, then save the approval email offline with your boarding docs. That one move turns a long pause into a quick nod. Next, the I'm being healthy item that turns into a suitcase unzip before breakfast. Packing a blender for healthy vibes is the fastest way to look like you're moving into the ship. Security cracks the suitcase, that immersion blender shows up, and suddenly it's not vacation prep, it's kitchen gear. Some lines list blenders by name. Others don't bother naming every gadget, they just shut down the whole small appliance category. Anything with a motor, a heating element, or that countertop energy that doesn't belong in a cabin. Even if it somehow makes it on board, the pain shows up later. You're in that tiny bathroom sink trying to rinse a blade without slicing your finger, then one leaky bottle later your day one cabin smells like spinach experiment. That's not a wellness plan, that's chores. My workaround is the no blade smoothie setup. A collapsible shaker bottle and single serve packets. Protein, greens, electrolytes, shake, drink, rinse, done. No motor, no blade, no terminal awkwardness. If I want a real smoothie, I buy it on board and let the bar own the blender and the cleanup. That protective gadget is the reason your bag gets a second look, right when you think you're clear. This is where people get played by the label. Milliamp hours sells, watt hours decides. Most travelers don't notice watt hours until someone at security asks, "How big is that battery?" And if you're flying into your cruise port first, the trap hits earlier. TSA loves that question. Don't do math at the counter. Flip the pack over and look for watt hours printed on it. If it says 100 watt hours or less, you're usually fine. If it doesn't show watt hours at all, or it's clearly a giant brick, don't gamble. Bring a smaller, clearly labeled pack, or split your power into 2 smaller banks instead. I keep mine intentionally normal, one clearly labeled pack that doesn't start a conversation. One little choreography move helps a lot. I keep it in an easy-to-reach pocket with the label facing out. So if someone asks, I'm not digging through socks, I'm just holding it up like proof. And the weird part is what comes right after this. It isn't tech, but it gets treated like it is. This one is almost comically strict. If it burns, it's not boarding. No, but it's tiny. No, it's just for the bathroom. They take it, you keep walking. And I get why people try. You want your cabin to feel familiar. You want that little moment when you walk in. The problem is, on a ship, fire isn't a vibe, it's an alarm. Out there, a small flame gets treated like a big deal every single time. So I keep the mood, just without the flame. A tiny LED tea light or a little battery night light gives you that warm glow when you come back late, and it doesn't turn your first day into a rules conversation. If you're the my room has to smell normal person, keep it personal and simple. A solid lotion or balm you already use. Clean, familiar, no spills. And the last one is sneaky because it doesn't live in your suitcase. It lives on your cabin door. You ever see someone casually peeling tape off a cabin door like it's their job? Yeah, sometimes it literally is. Hallways are shared space, and anything that turns your door into cleanup later gets fixed fast. The usual troublemakers are sticky stuff, string lights, and anything that blocks your cabin number. Tape and adhesive hooks can mess up the finish. Lights get treated like a fire, electrical thing. And covering your room number is like covering your address. Crew needs that number visible for safety, and for the constant, where is 10248 moments. If you want your decorations to survive the whole cruise, magnets are king. Most cabin doors are metal, so magnets are the one option that's widely accepted and leaves zero trace at checkout. Keep it flat, keep the number visible, and keep it simple. If it dangles, flashes, wires up, or leaves residue, it's asking for attention. Then there's the part nobody expects, symbols. A pineapple can be totally innocent, but on cruises, a lot of people read the upside down one as a lifestyle signal. So you might be aiming for tropical and accidentally sending an invitation you did not mean to send. If it has internet lore, it's probably not door decor anymore. And I'm curious, any other cruise symbols you've heard about besides the pineapple? You don't need to memorize all 12. Just remember what cruise screening reacts to: heat, signals, and anything that turns a shared space into a problem. Security isn't judging you, they're sorting categories. My favorite feeling on embarkation day is stepping on board, and finally, exhaling. No inspection table, no explaining, just vacation. If you want it easy, the updated cruise packing checklist is in the description. Save it with your boarding docs, and you're set. And if something's ever gotten stopped at the terminal, drop what it was in the cruise line below. Those comments seriously help the next person. Less gear, more vacation.